You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. If you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Echo, TJ's Path. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you, and let's jump right in. Alarm saying you are up, and let's go. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright, we're back. Okay. Alright, here we go. Alrighty. Let's do it! Okay, so maybe she was just having some sort of a crazy, some sort of an episode. Everybody's crazy here. All the more reason to check on her. I rub my face. Come on! It's fine, I can just go. TJ folds his arms and leans in closer. Or maybe, you know, she just had to pee. He whispers the last few words like they're the worst cuss words in the world. I snort and close my eyes. Fine. I wipe the back of my hand across my forehead. But, if I have a heat stroke, it's all on you. Oh my gosh, don't say that. If you feel dizzy or sick, you're going inside. The thought of sitting inside with Janice while I cool down is almost as unbearable as the thought of manual labor. TJ looks happy, which is worth it, I guess. Well, I gotta say, I didn't expect you two down here this early. We followed the old coyote around the side of the house, weaving through sagebrush and tumbleweeds. It's a bit hot right now, but if you're feeling up to it... Yeah, we just didn't have much else to do today. Janice, as far as I can tell, has been acting completely normal. I at least expected her to be embarrassed knowing what she'd done in front of us, assuming she remembered it all. I'm fine with not ever bringing it up again, though, and I'm sure TJ feels the same way. Once we reach the back of Janice's house, I'm amazed to see a pile of tumbleweeds maybe 10 feet high against the house. The pile sticks out another 5 feet from the wall. Whoa! Janice puts her hands on her hips, looking at the mess. Whoa is right. Been a few years since I got around to doing this. Can't see out the back window anymore. Janice chuckles. TJ claps his hands and smiles. This won't be hard at all. I feel like he's saying that for my sake. It's so hot, I just want to lay down and die right here in the dirt. Should be pretty quick. That's why I got another job. The corner of my eye twitches. Janice turns to point out towards her backyard. Or at least what would be her backyard if there was a fence or something to separate it from the wilderness beyond. See that pile of wood over there? She indicates that what is indeed a pile of old, crumbling wood. Used to be a shed there. Been there for God knows how long. You boys mind salvaging the good bits for firewood? Janice turns back to the small, shack-like abode that is her house. You can pile it up against the side of the house. I give TJ the dirtiest look I can while he helplessly tries to keep a smile on for Janice. She shields her eyes against the sun. Wow, it's a real scorcher today. I'll have lemonade made in a few. And with that, Janice heads back around the house, her heavy footsteps crunching through the brush. We're quiet for a few minutes, both staring at the pile of tumbleweeds. She seems okay. I crouch in the dirt, putting my head in my hands. I think she just had an embarrassing moment and acted awkward about it. I do it all the time. I don't say anything. Chase, are you okay? Oh god, no, apparently not. Chase, are you okay? I shake my head silently. It's not that bad, we can do this. I sigh, deciding whether or not I'm actually going to leave TJ, then come back when it's not so hot. That's when I hear running water. I look up and see a grinning TJ standing at the corner of the house, holding up a green hose. Water trickles out the metal capped end. Thought I forgot about you and water? Remember, every 15 minutes at least. Despite my bad mood, I can't help but smile a little at his continued enthusiasm. I stand up and walk over to the hose, taking it from TJ and letting the icy water run over my head while he looks on approvingly. I have to keep myself from moaning at how good it feels. Once I'm done, I look back at the pile of tumbleweeds. So, what are we supposed to do with all these? She didn't tell us where to put them. Yeah, I forgot right-click doesn't do anything. Oh, 1 second, guys. Okay. We'll just throw them off to the side. The one will take care of them. So we set to work. Janice had at least left gloves for us, so we didn't have to worry about anything sharp going through our hands. Okay, I was wondering what that snapping was. I still get poked through my shirt or even in the face if I pull one out awkwardly. TJ, I can't help but notice, is a lot faster than I am. He's working at a quick and steady pace, not caring at all when a tumbleweed hits him in the face. I get a few more messages from Leo asking where we are. When I tell him, he doesn't reply. Soon enough, I'm sweating buckets, dark circles forming under my arms and around my neck. 10 minutes in, I have to take off my shirt, let it hang on a rusty metal outcrop under the window. I notice TJ giving me sidelong glances after I do. I grin at him. What? Enjoying the show? TJ jumps. What? No! TJ quickly looks away again, working faster than ever on the tumbleweeds, which are already half gone at this point. I notice he's got the same sweat stain pattern as I did. Hey, you can take yours off too. It feels really good. TJ stops and pants for a while, staring at the rest of the tumbleweeds. I mean, might as well do it now. We still have a ton of wood to move after this. He flicks his ears and I can see him blushing. Are you embarrassed? Don't you shower naked with other dudes at school? Well, yeah, but... But what? TJ huffs and finally pulls his shirt off, forcing a smile as he goes over to hang it up next to mine. I notice that he does it with crossed arms, the way girls do. Cute. There, happy? What's with you and being all weird about having your shirt off? You were the same way this morning. TJ sighs. I was trying not to make it weird, but you two were just staring at me when I opened the door. I laugh and TJ puts his hands on his hips. Just remember that when we're done, we're going to have to check our torsos for ticks, too. Oh, yeah. It dampens my spirits. Man, this sucks. TJ pants quietly for a few seconds. It is a little hot. Oh, so you do admit that this was a bad idea? No, I mean, maybe, but at least we'll have the evening to do something once we finish, right? He smiles at me hopefully. It does brighten my mood a little. Wanna go to the diner? TJ smiles before bending over towards the tumbleweeds again. Yeah, sure, I was wanting to just... Yeah! I jump a foot into the air, almost falling into the tumbleweeds. Go, go, go! TJ's off like a bullet, running away from the pile in my direction. Confused, I jump out of his way, then follow him around the side of the house as I look at where he'd been standing. I don't see anything, but his reaction is enough to get the fur standing up on the back of my neck. TJ comes to a stop toward the front of the house. What the hell? What happened? I finally catch up to him, panting under the heat. TJ's gasping too, but probably more out of fear. A tarantula! A reflexive shiver runs up my body and I wring my hands out. No! I'm suddenly very conscious of everything around me, all the little twigs and branches of the sagebrush looking like spiders. Are you sure? Yes! TJ's voice is high-pitched and squeaky as he shakes his hands. He's laughing to himself nervously. I was reaching down for another one, and when I touched it, it moved, and it was a giant freaking spider! TJ must really be freaked out, because I rarely hear him even use that word. We both stand there for a minute, and TJ looks toward the back of the house again, biting his lip. There's something a bit off with the way he's acting now, though. Maybe a little over-exaggerated? I narrow my eyes. Is this another prank? Ha! No! TJ looks back at me and shakes his head, his eyes wide. I was right, it was right there. It's probably still there now. Dude, you better not be joking around with me on this. It's gonna make the rest of the day so much worse. He shivers again, but I'm still suspicious. TJ could be a good actor when he wanted. It was definitely a tarantula. The front door suddenly opens and Janice pokes her head out. Oh my stars! Who are these two handsome young men in my yard? Why is she still wearing her work uniform and name tag? Really odd. The old coyote comes out, looking us up and down, especially TJ. The lynx notices and grips an arm with one of his hands, as if trying to cover up under her gaze, unless she just really, really likes her job. That's possible. I mean, well, she's been there forever, so... Mm-hmm. And what's with all that hollering? I frown at the old coyote's forwardness. I look at TJ, but he doesn't say anything. TJ says he saw a tarantula. Janice claps a paw to the side of her face. Well, I'll be darned, a blonde? Maybe. I've never seen one before. Well, they're all over around here. You just never see them because they only come out at night. Janice shields her eyes again. This time of day is way too hot for them. There's probably a huntsman. All this talk about spiders is making me just want to walk the fuck back to the motel right now. It wasn't. TJ mumbles next to me, but I don't think Janice hears him. Just wanted to let you two know that I made some lemonade and have some cookies in the oven, too. TJ forces a smile onto his face. Oh, thank you, Janice. She grins at him. You are just the most adorable thing. She moves forward to pinch his cheek ruffs, and somehow he manages to stay smiling while she does it. Finally, Janice bustles back inside as I give TJ a long look. He throws his hands up in the air. I'm not lying. I can see him turning red under his fur, so I leave it for now. We look around for a while, but can't find any trace of the spider. Getting back to work is difficult, and I keep jumping at the sight of anything long and spindly. Which, when you're clearing out tumbleweeds, is... everything. On top of that, I see several smaller spiders, and every time I do, I jump and run a few steps away before I try to shoo them off. TJ recovers a lot faster, though, and pretty soon he's tossing out tumbleweeds at the same pace he was earlier. This makes me even more suspicious. Anyway, it's not a bad sight. TJ's way more in shape than I am, the tight muscles in his back easily standing out and gliding under the fur. I catch myself staring several times, and I'm pretty sure he does too. Once we're almost finished, I have to straighten up, pushing my hands into my lower back to make it crack. Sore? A little bit. TJ tosses out one of the last tumbleweeds before walking up to my side. Does it always hurt? He puts a hand on my lower back and starts sliding it around. Not really, just when I'm bending over and stuff. He's quiet for a moment, teasing through the fur on my back. I start to blush, but that's when he applies some pressure to the muscle. I grimace and arch. Wow, that's stiff! I hiss and try to writhe away, but he puts a hand on my shoulder to hold me in place. He giggles. Hold still for a second. Well, when you're digging in like that, that's because you're all tensed up. Just relax. I try to do as he says, even though it's extremely uncomfortable. So, otters are known for having bad backs. I know, my dad can barely move these days. It's terrible. I shrug. He still gets around, just needs pain meds. Which you don't want to have to rely on. A shoulder bumps TJ's chest and his long whiskers brush my ear. It's his short legs and long back. Rude. You have to bend over more than most of us. Keep a good posture, and lift heavy things with your knees. His fingers dance a bit lower before pulling back. You'll thank yourself 20 years from now when you're not in constant pain. I put both my hands on my back, feeling warm and a lot more loose. Hey, I actually do feel a little better. Great! I'm impressed with how much TJ knows about otters. He probably knows the same amount about all the other species, too. You know, you're really smart. TJ ducks his head modestly. Oh, I'm just repeating what I've learned. I mean, I forget everything I learned within a week. I do too sometimes. Just have to keep studying until it sticks. TJ looks around. Actually, I really wish you could lay down somewhere, then I could give you a real massage. That would be amazing. I could give you one tonight when we're back at the motel. You sure? The thought has me feeling warm, and not just in my back. Of course. I mean, I did sort of drag you out here. Don't worry about it. It's actually kind of nice. I haven't done a walk like this in a few years. TJ smiles back at me. It is, isn't it? He leans back and stretches, and I have to force myself not to stare at his arching torso. I think that's it for the tumbleweeds, though. I look a little forlornly at the pile of boards. TJ follows my gaze and gives me a sympathetic smile. Remember with the knees! TJ says brightly as he marches over to the pile. I find out pretty quickly that, while there aren't many tarantulas, the ruins of the shed are infested with spiders. Several of them black widows. Because those are actually dangerous compared to blondes, TJ goes in to ask Janice for bug spray. I go back to water myself again with the hose, letting the freezing water run down the sides of my head and off my snout. Fucking spiders! Fucking everywhere! I shiver again. I've been uptight ever since TJ had faked seeing that tarantula. I stand back up, letting the water run down my back and front, sighing at how good it feels. I hear the front door open and shut and the sound of TJ's footsteps coming around the house. Looking back down at the still running hose in my hand, I smirk. TJ did start this little prank war, so I don't feel too bad for what I'm about to do. He might be holding something, you idiot! I press myself up against the side of the house, making sure there aren't any spiders first. The second I see the lynx's foot stick out from this corner, I swing the hose up. My original intention had been to wet the front of his pants so that it looked like he pissed himself. Unfortunately, he's too far away from the house, and instead he's left staring at me while an arch of water falls short of him by a good 3 feet. He's holding stuff, but I don't take the time to see what it is before I press my thumb to the opening of the hose and send a spray straight into TJ's face. TJ gasps like he just fell into ice water and stumbles back, almost tripping. I laugh. Chase, what the heck? I finally cut the stream of water, revealing a furiously blinking and dripping lynx. In one hand is a broom, and in the other is a plate of what probably used to be cookies. They look kind of mushy now. Ah, crap. TJ drops the broom to examine his plate of cookies. He tips it to the side and lets a stream of murky, crumb-filled water slosh out from the plate. He smelled so good, too. I walk over and take the plate from him. Well, the ones on top aren't so bad, just a little soggy. TJ wrinkles his nose. Just throw them out into the desert. I'd feel bad if Janice saw. I pick up a cookie and take a bite. It is a bit soggy on the surface, but it's warm and gooey in the center. TJ looks at me in horror. Chase! What? This tastes friggin' amazing. Quit being so uptight and take a bite. I take another. Stop! What if that's irrigation water? That makes me pause for a second, but I shrug. I swallowed water all the time when I swam in the lake. I wonder right after I say that if I shouldn't be mentioning the lake at all around TJ, but he just shakes his head, making his way around me. If you start throwing up tonight, then we'll know why. But I'll have you to take care of me, Doctor. I don't know how much about actually being sick. He watches me anxiously as I take another bite. Still, it is really good. I point at the broom in the dirt. What's with the broom? TJ bends down to pick it up. Janice didn't have any bug spray, so she said to brush off the boards with this. I groan. I was thinking you could do the brushing and I'll do the lifting since your back is sore. I groan. Don't worry, Janice says if we get bit to let her know so she can take us to the hospital. Comforting. Listen, I'm sorry about all this. I didn't know it was going to be so tough on you. I swallow guiltily. I'm mostly joking. It's really just how spidery it is that's the worst part. I'll buy at the diner when we're finished, okay? I smile at him. I'm not hurting for money at all, but I know it'll make TJ feel a bit better if I let him. Alright, that's a deal. It's afternoon at this point, the sun low enough that Janice's house is casting a shadow across the backyard. Of course, that shadow is a good few feet away from where we're working. I set to work trying to sweep away spiders, their egg sacs, and all kinds of other bugs while TJ grabs the big boards and drags them across the yard. I'm pretty good at it, trying not to yelp while I jerk at the end of the broom back and forth like an idiot. TJ tells me several times that I can sit it out, but I'd feel way too guilty if I did. At one point, I almost flick a spider onto TJ, which sends him screaming. But several apologies and nervous laughter later, we're back at it. It takes a lot longer than it should, mainly because of all the sweeping I'm doing, but a few hours later, we're down to the last few boards. Most of what's left is rotting, crumbling wood. TJ wipes a hand across his forehead. Well, I'd say this is the last one. I give the board a cursory brush, happy to not see any spiders on this one. Hey, I was thinking, you want to go on another hike tomorrow? We could invite the others to go with us. TJ looks up at me. You sure? I thought you didn't like it. Again, I complain a lot. I had fun. TJ smiles. Alright, that'd be awesome. He's grinning now, and that makes me feel even better. Alright, let's get this done, and then we can go to the diner and plan it out. Sounds like a plan. With that, TJ flips the board and reveals a massive tarantula. 8 beady black eyes reflect the sun, and soon I'm almost blinded by it. They bore into me, and the spider turns slowly, crab-like on its legs, so it can face me. My stomach turns, and the ground tilts. I feel like I'm falling off the edge of the world. I grab for something, anything, but all there is air around me, and I fall into the darkness. Just count when the shoulders are down, alright? Ah, when they were kids. I feel like water's rushing through my ears, and I have to widen my stance to keep from falling. Are you listening? Huh? Chase! What? I try to focus on the kid in front of me. Aww! Oh, it's Sydney! Did you die or something? I don't know, I was just thinking of something else. Ha! You're dumb. You're dumb. I don't feel good. Oh, little TJ. Toby stands there with his arms around his stomach, his ears down. Quit being a baby, Toby. Just one more round. I don't want... Go! Sydney grabs Toby by the shoulders and sticks a leg out behind his legs. TJ is easily tripped. Oh, and goes down on the back of his... goes down on his back in the dirt. I get the feeling that Lynx is purposely losing it so he can be... losing so he can be done with it. Alright, guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. What was Sydney again? What species was Sydney? He looks kind of like an otter. Oh. Or maybe perhaps a weasel or something? I don't know. If you guys in the comments can tell me, I'd appreciate that. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Your tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!